everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Joanna G. Holden and I'm a fantasy author and an author tuber, so I'm trying to get comfortable. How do y'all like the lights? They're temporary because we don't have a spare string of lights, colored lights anyway, to put on any other part of the house, so I've been using them out there in the living room on my giant bookshelves. But I wanted something Christmassy because when you guys are watching this, this is going to be the last Saturday before Christmas Day, and it's always exciting, so we have colory lights. So today's video is going to be a holiday writer tag, and it is actually the In December holiday tag. So if you don't know what In December is, I'm going to link a whole bunch of information, websites, videos, and stuff in the description box below. But basically it's a spotlight on indie published, self-published, people who are not just straight up traditional published. It's give a little bit of, like, spread more awareness kind of the books and the authors and so on and so forth. So this tag is not necessarily restricted to that at all, which I think is great. But basically the main rule of it is that you're supposed to at least mention In December so that people know what's going on and all that. So the way that this is going down, I'm going to link also the original video. I may also pop it up in the cards. The original tag video is that there are 25 questions for the 25 days until Christmas, but I'm not going to be answering all of them. I will be answering however many I get on this bingo sheet. I actually need to sit down and write numbers, spread the numbers around on here. But the idea is that I will be trying to get bingo obviously on this. I'm hoping that I will be able to like answer a whole bunch, but I guess I'm just gonna have to play the game and answer however many are in here. But I'm going old school. The original idea was that you get a random number generator, but I'm going old school and I'm getting a favorite Christmassy mug, and I have filled it with red and green pieces of paper that have numbers on them. Make sure to shake it up really well, and I'm going to be answering the questions randomly that way. You're supposed to pick whatever WIP you've got in the works, so I'm going to go with Snow Dust and Little Hood, since those are the only two that I really have that I've been talking about, that really are ready to be talked about. So I'm going to real quickly write down these numbers on the actual bingo sheet, and then I'm going to get to answering questions. Yay! Come on. Okay, the angle may be slightly different because I actually wanted to take a picture of this to put on the thumbnail. But yeah, I've got the bingo started ready. I've got my list of questions ready. Let's start answering. Okay. Also, I love drawing things. I think it's fun. So question number 8. Zoop. Zoop. I'll do double lines so I can see it either. Question number 8. Santa Baby. Which of your characters could romance presents out of Santa? So I don't think that in either Snow Dust or Little Hood I have a character who could romance presents out of Santa, but I do have a character in Snow Dust who could definitely wheedle presents out of Santa by being cute and sweet and innocent looking and secretly conniving, and that is Lissa. Lissa is described in the original Snow Queen fairy tale as just the robber girl, and she's wild, she's crazy, but she's also sneaky and conniving, and honestly she has a good heart, she just had a hard life. So she is definitely a character who could get anything that she wanted out of Santa, and then laugh at him later. Green number. 25! Naughty or nice? Which character was on the naughty list, but Santa liked them and took them off? Let me think about this for a second. Okay. Oh, I don't want to give away spoilers though. Okay, so there's a character in Little Hood who starts off as a not so nice character and at the end of the book turns into a nice character after all, and kind of is given like a second chance. And that character, though they shall remain unnamed, that character definitely got taken off of the naughty list at the end of the book. So question number 6 is Christmas lights. Which character would be most likely to use Christmas lights inappropriately? Okay, so the options here are like such as to tie someone up, shock someone, rig up an explosive. So while I don't think that he would ever do something anywhere near that drastic, I know he wouldn't. The second main character of Snow Dust is Kay. He's a 10-year-old boy, and he loves playing pranks. He has a very playful side, and he's mischievous without meaning to be. He's just 10. He's a boy. He's having fun. So, yes, he definitely, I could imagine, would find some sort of very creative use for Christmas lights that is not at all what they were designed for. And that could potentially get someone hurt, but would be a lot of laughs. So, yeah, that would definitely be K. 15. Let's find 15. Wrapping. What character would spend way too much time wrapping presents because they wanted it to look perfect? In Snowdust, probably Gerda. I wouldn't necessarily call her type A, but she's very much like the mother hen. I have to fix everything. Everything has to be perfect. She's a bit of a control freak, even though she's only 10 years old, just because she felt like she lost quite a bit of control early on in her life when some things happened that you'll find out about when you read the story. Nothing dark, just very sad. And she fights for control over everything now. Even as just a 10-year-old, she has to be in charge. And so with Christmas presents, there's a right way to do it. And I could see her being the person that just like, there's a right way to do it. And if you're not doing it right, here, I'll do it right for you. So very definitely Gerda. Question 20. Let's find 20. Oh, we got two next to each other here. We're getting there. So question 20, Gingerbread House. Who is your handiest or craftiest character? So in Littlehood, probably the main character. Blanche is very much, she's an 11-year-old also. She's very, very handy, very crafty. She's very clever. She's very good at making things. She's also very good at thinking through problems and like creating things to fix other things, like very inventive, I guess is the word. She uses a lot of inventions to kind of help with her mom's workload because she has a single mom. So definitely Blanche, who is the main character of Littlehood. She's very inventive and creative that way. Number 3, let me find 3. Milk and cookies. What is your favorite writer snack? Bonus if it's milk and cookies. That's funny because as unhealthy as it is and as infrequently as I actually do this. Okay, let me back up. I normally don't eat while I'm writing just because it's hard for me to eat anything and keep writing. But when I do eat, I do love Oreos and milk. That's like my favorite. If I could have any writer's snack, it would be Oreos and milk. 14. Let's see. So number 14, Santa's coming to town. Is your protagonist naughty or nice? If you have multiple books or protagonists, you can do this for multiple. Is your protagonist naughty or nice? So for Snowdust, I have 2 main characters, Gerda and Kay. And as you may have already figured out, Gerda is definitely on the nice list and would probably be out to try to make sure everyone else is nice too. And Kay would probably have accidentally landed himself on the naughty list because he says things he doesn't mean. He does stupid crap just without thinking about it. He tends to just kind of do his own thing. And so even though he's not like bad, he would probably end up on the naughty list because he's just, 7. Feast. What is your favorite food-related scene? So, food-related scene. There aren't any scenes in either Littlehood or Snowdust where they're like actually sitting down to eat, where the food is talked about very much. But one of my favorite scenes that actually talks about the food is actually the very first chapter of Snowdust, where the opening scene is it's a fierce wintry night. It's pitch black outside, tons of snow. The house is creaking from the wind. The fire is crackling like crazy. It's very cozy, and there's these scents of like cinnamon and sugar wafting in from the kitchen because they've been making strudel, and it just like that smell. I was almost smelling it while I was writing. Question number 2, Rudolph. Do you have any furry writing companions? The answer to that is simple and sad. No, I do not have any furry writing companions right now. No dogs, no cats, not even any feathered writing companions. I have my kids, who a lot of times are my writing companions by default, but no, I would love to eventually have a dog. Oh, and question number 1. Nightmare Before Christmas. What's a writing or book release mistake that still haunts you? Oh gosh, I was kind of hoping I wasn't going to get this one. So I'm going to make a whole video on this next year when I release Littlehood, but Littlehood's original release still haunts me because I basically did everything wrong that could be done wrong, and I kind of embarrassed myself a little bit in the process of like how I handled everything going wrong. So I have a lot of what not to do's coming up in a video next year sometime whenever the release of Littlehood ends up being. 16. Cutting down Christmas trees. Do you edit your manuscript in digital format or print it out? Yes. The first time through, when I go through for a read-through, I print it out and I read it. And I take my highlighters and my colored pens and I just mark up the manuscript as much as possible. I have an extra notebook handy for notes if I need to. But yeah, I mark it up on paper because I feel like I get more that way. And then usually for the following drafts, up until we get to like the proofreads and the final edits, I just do it digitally. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Which of your characters is most likely to steal cookies and or gifts from Santa? Okay. So I have a couple of characters in Snow Dust who could be seen doing that. I've already mentioned Lissa once. She definitely would steal anything. The other robbers in the camp would definitely steal anything. But there's also a character that I could definitely see stealing cookies specifically from Santa just to tick him off. And because he's Santa, just to do it. And that is Gustav. Gustav is a field raven who is kind of one of Gerda's B-story characters. And okay, I'm sorry, this angle is really bothering me. There we go. But Gustav he's a field raven, and he is very snippy and aloof and just like, you know, mind your own business and, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do kind of at first, and then he really has a soft heart. I definitely see him, just because he's a bird and he doesn't like people telling him what to do, that he would definitely be the one to steal Santa's cookies. All right, now I just got back from my author event that I had to go to. There's a group of young authors I've mentioned on here, I think before, that have been meeting throughout NaNoWriMo doing the Young Authors program, and now they're meeting post-Nano to talk about writing stuff. So I had to go do that, but I am back now, back to my questions, back to bingo, and it looks as if I am about 2 away on several lines. So 18 is blizzard. What's your favorite weather to write in? So my ultimate favorite writing weather, regardless of the book, and I feel like I may be the only one like this, not the only one, but I hear a lot of people who don't like this weather. But I love gloomy, dark, cloudy, rainy days. Bonus points if it's a little bit cold outside. That is like, for some reason, the inspiration just flows. I can write really well on sunny, happy days, but just for some reason, there's something about the clouds and the rain and the darkness and the gloominess that just is like, oh, I love it. I'm gonna pick a red one this time. 12, I feel like I'm gonna get one. 12 is holiday parties. Do you have a log line prepared for when someone asks you about your book, or do you run and hide? Or do you have a masterful plan of diversion the rest of us could use? So I used to be very nervous about talking about my books in front of people, but I have gotten more comfortable with it just by doing it, by talking with people about it. Back up. You had an appointment.
Hey, today going river backpack.
You going to the river with the backpack? Yeah. So for Snow Dust, I have a pretty easy log line. I tell people, you know, that it's based on the original fairy tale of the Snow Queen, and that it's basically like, as far as feel and read goes, it's like Narnia meets Frozen. That's kind of what I give people. I give them something to compare it to. I don't have one for Littlehood yet, but I'm working on it. Really, with people, I just tell them that it's Hans Christian Andersen's alternative version of the Red Riding Hood story with some unexpected twists and turns. Usually that gets them really excited. And then for any of the other books, I can't really say much. So I just say it's this genre, it's going to be about this long, and this is where I am in the project. I would encourage you that if you don't know how to talk to people about your stories, just think of a comparison. It's like, I'm trying to think, like Narnia meets Frozen for Snow Dust, or if it's like a contemporary romance, say, well, it's kind of like Love Comes Softly, but modern day. Or it's a World War II romance, or it's a space opera trilogy that's very Star Wars or Star Trek-like as far as the magnitude. Think of something people can compare it to. Writers are really, myself included, hesitant to compare their books to others, because when we hear people say, oh, your book is like such and such, we think that people are saying we're doing like an identical ripoff, but that's not true. Comparisons help people to know whether or not they're going to like a story. And if you say that, like, you know, your story is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but with aliens, I don't know, just something like that, then people might say, oh, I like aliens, I like that steampunky vibe. I want to read that. So give them a comparison. That's what I would say as a log line. 10. You gotta be kidding me. I still have not hit bingo yet. I would not do well if I was actually trying to win bingo. I love it for this because, like, I'm getting to answer more questions, but if it was actually bingo, it would be a problem. Santa's bag. If you could tell Santa one item that should be given to every writer everywhere, what would it be? A laptop! Ah! No, but seriously, something that I would say for Santa, and if you are looking for gifts for writer friends, this is inexpensive and super inspiring, it would be to get an author mug. I've had lots of people that have seen my posts on like Instagram and stuff rave about the author mugs that I show on there that I've received as gifts, and they've been some of my favorite gifts and honestly some of the most inspiring objects that I own. If you give someone like, clothes, well, it's hard to pick sizes, but if you give someone a mug, like that's a one size fits all. It fits a drink, or if not, it fits pens. That would be the thing that I would say Santa needs to send everyone this year for Christmas. That's something I'm hoping that maybe I'll get. Well, I already got one. I already got one for Christmas. I'm waiting for it. I'm like holding my breath. Where are you, 13? Santa's list. How many characters are in the main cast of your most recent WIP or publication? So let's go with Littlehead. So I have my main character Blanche, her mother, her grandmother. Obviously, there's the grandmother, and then obviously there's the woodcutter character. There's the wolf character. Those are the 5 main characters. For Snowdust, you've got Gerda and Kay. The Snow Queen is definitely a main character. I would say maybe Gustav is also a main character, but we don't, and Lissa is definitely a main character. So those 5 as well. But with Gustav and Lissa, we don't actually see them very much. Like they get a chunk of the book, but then they're not throughout the whole thing. Gerda and Kay and the Snow Queen are the only ones who go through the entire book. And the Snow Queen we still don't see that much of. So those are really the main characters, I would say, of those 2 books. 24. Still no bingo. Santa's Workshop. Show us your writing space or a picture of your writing space. Bonus points if it's a disaster zone. Oh gosh. Okay, so I actually have a video that I think has already been released at this point because I'm filming my videos before I leave for North Carolina. So I believe that the video of my writing space has already gone live. So you'll see, I'll put it in the cards above if it has, and if not, maybe I'll come back and put it in the cards, but I will show my writing space a little bit more then. But let me show you what I've got. This is my writing space, and you can actually hear the crazy noise of people in the background. That's what I write to every day. But yeah, so this is where I sit, and I have to double the pillows up because I don't have any other pillows. I usually have my laptop and some extra papers around, and then like I'll have my diffuser going with some oils. But there's also almost always laundry baskets doing something on the bed. And I can't show you the actual, like, vision board because it has spoilers. But I'll just give you, like, a boop. There's my vision board over there. And then right here, you can actually see because these lights, like I said, are not staying. But there's my bookshelf that you see in every video. And that is just, like, it makes me so happy. Things that make me happiest are my shelf of notebooks, our binders, and my shelf of like writerly resource materials. All right, guys, we've got to be getting close to a bingo. I'm not there yet. We're almost there, guys. We've got to be. Okay, 9. Yay, I got bingo! Because this video is getting freaking long. Okay. Question number 9. Ho, ho, ho. What is a line or a scene that makes you or your readers laugh? So in Snowdust, pretty easy. The scene that is my favorite and I think has the most laughs in it is when we first meet that B-story character, the field raven, Gustav. He is just being snooty and like he's better than Gerda and she is not taking it. Like, she is just being herself and being her nice, normal, sweet, kind, slightly controlling self and not letting him get away with it. And they're having a conversation where he's telling her what's going on in this city that they're nearby, or this, like, yeah, I guess it's a city that they're nearby. And she's, like, trying to get all the details and, like, it's very funny. I laughed writing it. I'm trying to think if I've actually had any of my beta readers that said any one particular scene was funny, but I've had several lines, like individual lines throughout the book that they said were particularly funny, but I just don't remember them. But that scene for me was the funniest. That was the one that I laughed the most as I was writing it. So, okay, let me see how many questions I actually got. Out of 25, I answered 18 questions, and that's what my bingo sheet ended up looking like in the end. So I have a couple of questions left in my little snowflake mug, but that is going to be it for me today. I am so tired of fixing my shirt. That is going to be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing on the way out. I post writerly content every Saturday, especially things relating to writing fantasy or writing series, but also just writer life and vlogs that chronicle my own personal writing journey. The links to my social media accounts as well as my website, my author website, are in the description box below. You can also sign up for my newsletter down there. And yeah, there are a lot of new releases coming out this next year, both 2 book releases for sure, and then potentially some workbook releases and some other fun things. So be sure to keep an eye out for those. You can hit the notification bell it's on this side, sorry. The notification bell if you want to be alerted as soon as a new video goes up. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the weekend. I hope you have an amazing Christmas if you celebrate it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!